What's up guys, Random Razor here with another tech/auto video for you guys today, and today we're going to check out the HUDWAY cast. So of course, without further ado, let's slice this open, slap it in my car, and check out this heads-up display. So heads-up displays are nothing new. They've always been an option for higher-end trim levels or luxury vehicles, but today for those of you who are interested in possibly putting one in your car, this may be a good alternative. So the HUDWAY cast comes in this fancy premium packaging. After you remove the shrink wrap, popping this open, looks like the first thing we're introduced with is a HUDWAY cast branded microfiber cloth. And underneath this, of course, is the actual HUDWAY cast itself here, which you can see is protected by the microfiber cloth. And taking the microfiber cloth here off, you can see the actual clear plastic where your heads-up display will be displayed. Continuing on with the unboxing, taking this piece of foam out, looks like we have a quick, looks like warranty information, and then a quick start guide. Next we have the rubberized stand, and of course this part here attaches to the heads-up display unit. The next thing that we have here is the power cable. It does have a proprietary connector for the actual heads-up display, and then your plug, which also includes two built-in USB ports. On top of that, we also have a, looks like a micro USB of some kind to a male end USB port. Next we have some additional, looks like mounting brackets of some kind. And then we also have, okay, so basically what this is that this is the magnetic stand. This sticks onto your dash. This part here is magnetized. HUDWAY includes this metal plate that would attach to the stand and basically attach this to the back of your iPhone or your iPhone case, and therefore this can stay on your dash without having to put it in a cup holder or something. So a nifty little accessory that is included with your heads-up display. Now there are no instructions with the heads-up display. You actually have to scan the barcode here or go to this website, go on there to actually see the instructions on how to set this up. So let's check that out. So the first thing that you want to do is actually connect to the HUDWAY Wi-Fi, which is this thing here. And once you have it connected, you can access Apple's mirroring function. So if you just go to your control panel, hit screen mirroring, and then you hit the HUDWAY, it'll automatically start mirroring the display on the iPhone to the HUDWAY. Alright, so we switched over to my iPhone XS camera so I can give you guys a better first-person view of the HUDWAY. And one thing I want to show you guys is basically how the HUDWAY works is that there's a screen on the back end of the unit, which it doesn't project itself, but the screen is bright enough to reflect off the clear polycarbonate display on the front here. And if we flip it over, you can see that we have our iPhone screen available on the display. So the cool thing about the HUDWAY is that it's definitely geared towards navigation, which is a good thing, because then rather than using the navigation built in your car or having your iPhone stuck in the windshield here, this allows you to have navigation right in front of you so that you can still keep your eyes on the road. Now the first thing that many people use is either Apple Maps or Google Maps, which you can see here. Now if you can flip the iPhone to landscape mode, this obviously looks a lot better. Anyways, back to that app thing I was talking about. HUDWAY has their own dedicated apps which are optimized for the actual heads-up display unit here. Now there's three of them here which you can play around with. We're going to use the one called HUDWAY Cast because that's the HUDWAY that we have, so we'll hit that. Here's another perspective. This is the HUDWAY navigation on their HUDWAY Cast app, which it's actually pretty easy to see with the naked eye. My iPhone just doesn't do a pretty good job at picking this up, but you can see the map here of the navigation on the HUDWAY. And the other option is you can also switch to different toggles. And for some reason the app froze on me. That's not very good. So basically you get all these details with the navigation feature built into the HUDWAY app. Some other screens you could use is like time and date, but quite honestly, most of the stuff like the speedometer, the gas, I'm not sure how you would how this would connect to your car to figure that out, but basically the primary feature for me with a heads-up display is navigation, and especially vehicles that aren't equipped with it, this is a very easy way to have navigation on your screen without having to add additional data by GPS. You can just use your phone and have it projected on the HUDWAY. For everyday use, I'd probably recommend just Google Maps or Apple Maps, just because they're more optimized for actual navigation, even though on a heads-up display it can get a little bit annoying because you have a large screen with so much details, but which you can see here, it's clear, concise, and most of you know that Apple Maps as well as Google Maps work very well. So I have my iPhone close to my head right now, and this is basically what I can see. Now, it doesn't obstruct the view just because the windshield is so big. However, because the heads-up display does have a slight kind of translucent to it, it doesn't annoy me as much as if I had like my iPhone sticking on the windshield or something. I also like how that if you don't need your heads-up display, you can easily just pin it down like this, and then it doesn't get in the way. So here's another view with using the Apple Maps, and you can see here it does a pretty good job the way it is, I personally think, over HUDWAY, just because it's a little bit more reliable than the HUDWAY app. But in short, it provides exactly what you need, the directions, and because it's connected to the Wi-Fi, it also has built-in Bluetooth, or not Bluetooth, it has a speaker built in here, so actually it will talk back to you, which is a pretty cool feature as well. You can also raise and lower the volume on the app, which you just use these up and down buttons here. Now if I just click the direction button, the speaker should work.
Head west on Queen Street East, then turn left onto Water Street South.
So one thing I like about using the speakers on the HUDWAY Cast is that rather than using the speakers in your car, which is going to be really loud and annoying, this is definitely a lot more subtle, which is something I do like. So overall, basically the HUDWAY Cast is exactly what it does. It is a heads-up display that mirrors pretty much anything that's on your iPhone. Technically, you could probably watch a movie or something on here, but that would likely mean it's illegal and distracted driving, so I don't really recommend it for that kind of purposes. But for having the navigation screen on the front of your vehicle rather than, again, looking down on here or looking at a phone that's stuck on your dash or on your windshield, this is definitely a little bit more practical because again, it keeps your eyes on the road. So overall, my impressions on the HUDWAY Cast, it's definitely a pretty interesting product, the first of its kind. Maybe not the very first one, but definitely a new generation of products introduced for vehicles that don't have heads-up display built in. And I'd say it's a pretty useful tool for those of us who don't have navigation in a vehicle, or if you don't want to have your phone stuck on your windshield or dash. This is definitely a great alternative to having navigation right in front of you when you need it. So things I like about the HUDWAY Cast is that it brings your navigation on top of your dash in a translucent kind of display. If you don't need it, you can easily tuck the display down and everything is eye level, and again keeps your eyes on the road. I also like how the HUDWAY Cast has speakers built in, so you can listen to the turn-by-turn navigation from Google or Apple. And in my particular vehicle, which is a Toyota Highlander, the HUDWAY Cast doesn't seem to be interfering or getting in the way of anything. In regards to anything I don't like about the HUDWAY Cast, first off, it does take up a space on the cigarette lighter here, so I'm going to need an adapter of some kind to plug in not only my HUDWAY but also my dash cam. The other thing is that the HUDWAY Cast may not work in all vehicles. For example, if you're driving like a sports car or something, the windshield is likely going to be smaller, or not necessarily smaller, but closer to the dash here, whereas this large plastic display could get in the way and may not fully extend upwards. And for those of you wondering about the cable here, obviously this is going to get in the way, so my plan was to wrap the cable and tuck it behind the dash all the way around underneath the dash, and then kind of wrap it all the way around the center console here and into the cigarette lighter. If you guys remember from the unboxing, HUDWAY does include a few cable ties which you can stick underneath the dash on a plastic, and that should keep the cable in place. So in conclusion, guys, is the HUDWAY Cast worth it? Well, basically for navigational features, I'd definitely say, you know, it's worthwhile for those of you who like to travel a lot. I wouldn't necessarily say use it for work if it's just back and forth, you know where you're going. But if you do a lot of traveling for work, or just, you know, you like to go on little adventures out for a couple hours away from home, then having something like this could be useful, and in regards to safety, keeps your eyes on the road, which could be better in the long run. And for those of you wondering if it's worth it in the end, well, like I mentioned before, if you're able to use this on a day-to-day basis, I'd say it's worth it. For the average driver, it's not something you necessarily need, but it's an option if you want to add a cool heads-up display to your vehicle. And also forgot, you can remove this barcode here. It's basically just a sticker. You guys probably noticed throughout half the video that it's kind of reflecting off the actual display, so this can be removed so it doesn't actually interfere with the actual display of the unit. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. That is a quick look at the HUDWAY cast. If you have any questions or comments about this heads-up display, ask away in the comment section there down below. Hit that like button, as always helps me out, and I'll see you all in the next video.